Welcome. This Astro Mindfulness journey invites you into the first decan of Aquarius. Astro Mindfulness is a practice where traditional astrology and mindfulness meet through the quiet rhythm of your own breath. Together, they allow an opportunity to embody astrology, to experience the symbolism of the heavens, allowing ancient archetypes to become something lived, observed, and gently recognized within your own life. This meditation is timeless, and you may choose to return whenever Aquarius One is active within your chart. That's the first 10 degrees of Aquarius. Return whenever life invites you to step back and look with fresh eyes, or whenever you simply feel drawn to spend an evening beneath an open sky. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. It's ruled by Saturn. The first decan is also co-ruled by Saturn and Venus, bringing connections, beauty and grace. Together they invite us to broaden our horizons, recognize the relationships that shape our lives, and discover the quiet confidence that grows through patience, experience and time. I invite you now to settle yourself into a comfortable position where your body feels supported. You might choose to sit, lie down, and some people prefer to walk. Bring mindful awareness to every step and allow yourself just to settle into the stillness of the present moment. If it feels right, allow your eyes to close, or you may prefer to just rest your eyes gently downwards and soften your gaze. Bring your awareness to your breathing. You don't need to change it in any way. Simply notice as you breathe in, and then breathe out. And then gently move your awareness to your body and notice the places where your body is already supported. You may be making connections with the floor, the chair, whatever you're sitting or lying on. And what are the points of contact? Maybe it's your feet, maybe beneath your legs. Allow your hands to settle, maybe at the side of your body. And take another breath. Notice the coolness of the air as you breathe in, and see if you can notice the gentle warmth as you breathe out. Allow yourself just to become curious and see what you notice. Maybe you notice the rhythm of your breathing or its own quiet movement. Now allow your awareness to travel gently through your body, beginning at the crown of your head. Notice any tension you might be holding in your forehead. Before you move on to your eyes, allow them to soften. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, release any tension that your jaw might be holding. From your day, your week, or your month, you can just breathe it out with an out breath. You don't need to hold on to it anymore. Notice your neck and your shoulders. With every out breath, they settle and relax a little bit more. Allow your awareness to continue down through your arms, to your elbows, your wrists, and your hands, and finally to your fingers. Simply observe how they feel and release any tension with the out-breath. Bring your attention back to your chest. Notice the rise and fall as you breathe, and your abdomen. Is there any tension here? Just release it with every out-breath. Continue moving down to your hips, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, and then your feet and toes, releasing any tension with every out-breath. And as you complete that scan, take another breath in, releasing any tension that the whole body holds. How does your body feel now? Do you notice any changes? Perhaps your breathing feels a little easier. Maybe your body feels a little heavier. Or perhaps your awareness has simply become quieter. Remain curious. Whatever you notice is welcome. As you return your attention once again to your breathing, notice as it enters your body. Maybe it's cool. Maybe there's a pause between the in-breath and the out-breath. Maybe the air that leaves is warmer. Each breath arrives and leaves in its own time, your own unique, quiet rhythm. Allow this to become your companion. As you notice how the breath travels, notice if there's one place in your body where you feel it more intensely than anywhere else. At the back of your neck or your throat, and further down into your chest or your heart center, into your lungs, or deeper down into your abdomen. This is personal to you. There's no one right answer, but just notice where that place is for you. Just breathe in and out of only that one place. In mindfulness, we call this place your mindful anchor. Whenever your thoughts drift towards mundane concerns, the past or the future, or anywhere else, Simply notice that that's what's happened and return again to your mindful anchor, to your breath. Mindful anchor is always with us. At any moment in your day, if you need a moment to yourself, you can simply take 1, 3, 5, 10 or more breaths into your mindful anchor, however many you've got time for. No one around you needs to know what you're doing, and your body will help you. The more you practice breathing into your mindful anchor, the easier this becomes. As your attention settles into your mindful anchor, allow another awareness to begin to unfold. You're aware of the room around you, but the noises that you hear, the sensations that you feel, can fade a little now as you begin to imagine that you become aware of the warmth of late afternoon sun, a feeling of fresh air against your face, and a gentle breeze moving comfortably around you. The freshness of finding yourself on an open hillside. The landscape around you is unfolding gradually, naturally, just like a memory or an image in your imagination. You find yourself standing at the edge of a village that maybe is familiar to you. The day is drawing gently towards its close, and you're beginning to enter that liminal time, that transition from day to evening to night, as warm light rests upon old stone cottages. Noise reaches you along the air. There are open windows that carry the sounds of evening conversations. You can hear a dog greeting its owner, a bicycle passing along a lane, maybe the creak of garden gates. And you notice that this is just life moving with a familiar, comfortable rhythm. You pause here, breathing into your mindful anchor and just observing, listening, taking it all in, finding something deeply comfortable about familiar places and recognizable noises. Maybe for you it represents people that you know, neighborhood roads that you recognize, or just the rhythm of everyday life. Venus can often remind us of these quiet threads that connect us, weaving relationships, community, and belonging into the story of our lives. And as you stand here on the edge of this village that feels familiar, maybe you reflect on what places help you to feel connected. Who comes to mind? Remain with that thought for a quiet breath. It's not long before your attention is drawn beyond the village. Look at the footpath that rises gently towards the hills that overlook the valley. The path feels familiar. Perhaps you've walked it before. It feels welcoming and comfortable for you. Before you set out, a question from your own life comes quietly into your awareness. Simply notice what arrives. But if nothing does, that's okay as well. The question might be connected with a relationship or a decision that you're trying to make. Maybe a dream that's been waiting and now it's time to act on it. Or maybe you're in a season of change. Perhaps it's something that's quietly accompanied you for far longer than you realized. And even if nothing comes to mind, acknowledge it. And if you have a question, imagine placing that carefully into the bag that you're carrying on your back. If you have no question yet, maybe imagine a piece of paper with a question mark on it and place that into your bag. And allow the question to come to you later. The question will only be carried for a while as you walk. Take another breath, sensing the cooling evening air as you begin walking. The path is rising gently beyond the last cottages of the village, winding between old hedgerows that have marked these fields for generations. And you find yourself settling into an easy rhythm as your breathing synchronizes with your steps. The evening breeze is now moving freely across the hillside. What do you smell on this air? As you move, another fragrance arrives on the wind. Perhaps it's wildflowers that have been warmed by the afternoon sun. Maybe it's a hint of herbs growing somewhere beneath the path, or the faintest trace of wood smoke drifting from a distant chimney. What else do you notice? The steady rhythm of your footsteps, or the movement of the breeze across your face, the feeling of freedom and spaciousness around you. There's no one here observing you, although there might be some animals in those hedgerows that you can't see. You notice that the path is beginning to climb a little more steadily now, and the landscape is changing slightly. You take a glance back, and the village is starting to appear different to you already. What do you see? Perhaps you're noticing how individual cottages seem to gather now into neighbourhoods. Maybe your focus is the winding lanes. You're beginning to notice how they connect with one another. Or perhaps your attention is drawn to how the gardens look like they're becoming part of a larger pattern. Those gardens that you couldn't really see when you were in the village. Maybe your attention is drawn to the tall church tower and how it quietly watches over and guards the whole of the valley. Aquarius One invites us to broaden our horizons in just this way. Maybe you reflect on how this short walk has already widened your view. You're now seeing relationships that were hidden as they reveal themselves. As you look back, what else becomes easier to see from here? And is there anything that you're dealing with in your life that might benefit from just this small change from a different angle? Just to see those connections, to see something that you couldn't see while you were in the middle of it. When you're ready, you continue moving higher up along the path as it gets a little bit steeper, and perhaps you reflect on how Saturn often meets us in moments like this. The quiet progress that you're making on your own, the steady effort of the climb until you reach your destination. You reflect on how easily Saturn can be found in just the discipline of setting out on a walk, continuing until you find your destination. Maybe you reflect on where patient progress has already shaped your own life. Allow whatever comes to arrive naturally. The climb is leveling off now and the hillside is opening around you. You breathe a little easier, but also you feel overwhelmed as the sky feels larger and closer. It's almost as though the breeze has more room to move. You pause here as you reach the top of the hillside. Take a moment to look upwards. Look outwards. And look back across the landscape. Take in how much your horizon has widened. And with it, perhaps your attention has widened too. Notice what draws your eye now. It's different than when you stopped halfway up. There's no one single place to look. Allow your gaze to wander naturally, like a panoramic camera might. Maybe you see distant woodlands or silver ribbons of a river as it's winding its way through the valley and belongs so naturally in the landscape. You continue on the path around one final bend. You reach an outcrop of stones that are clustered upon the hilltop. It has watched countless evenings unfold beneath these same skies. Connect again with the breeze that's moving across your skin and notice how it feels different to earlier in your journey. Maybe you also reflect on how this might be a place where people have paused for generations before you. Perhaps people carrying questions of their own. You find a place to settle. You greet the stones with a touch. You've carried a blanket and a flask, so you pour yourself a warm drink. Maybe you settle with the stone against your back. It still holds a little warmth from the afternoon sun. As you take in what you can now see from your resting place, maybe you notice how much the light has changed from when you first set out. The golden colours of late afternoon have softened, and long shadows are stretching across the landscape. You can still see a part of the village below you, and although you can't see the individual homes, you reflect on the evening beginning. Meals are shared or families are gathering. Colours of the landscape continue deepening, and the sky above you is performing its own quiet transformation that it does every night, but you don't always observe the whole drama. Watch and wait, and feel something deeply peaceful about watching the evening unfold at its own pace. This is the evening show that you are here to watch. As the light softens, so slowly and imperceptibly, as the colours deepen, shades of blue that you maybe never noticed before and can't name. You're surprised by the first star that appears and almost winks at you, bright and clear. As you continue watching, another appears, and then more. These small points of light scattered across this ever-darkening sky. You remain with your breath, noticing even cooler air arriving now than before. And with this slow transition to the darkness, you realize how easily your eyes are becoming accustomed. And more stars are gradually revealing themselves. Some are there immediately, and others wait a little bit longer before they catch your attention as you move your gaze across the wide panorama of the sky. You find yourself looking with greater care, more patience, taking your time. Saturn often asks us to give our attention the gift of time. Some things reveal themselves through careful observation, inviting us to slow down and remain present with what is already before us. As you continue watching, what becomes visible simply because you've stayed in the same place a little longer, as the heavens continue opening up before you. Maybe you stay with just one star that catches your eye. Maybe without thinking, your gaze begins following the spaces between them, as one point of light gently leads you towards the next and a third completes a shape. And you notice that rather than stars, you're following constellations as they gradually emerge and reveal themselves to you, as though they've always been waiting just for your eyes to discover them. And you see how one constellation leads naturally towards the next. Some are familiar to you. You've heard them described before and seen them in the sky yourself, even when you were down in the village with the lights blocking out some of the other stars that you can now see. And yet there's more here that are inviting fresh curiosity from you. The longer you stay here just observing, the more relationships you're beginning to notice between them. Aquarius One is delighting in moments like these. This fresh perspective that you're finding is allowing these relationships to emerge, revealing these patterns that have quietly existed all along, but are new to you as the observer. As you watch these constellations, are they finding their shape, or are you discovering them? Reflect again and start to see the patterns that are emerging within your own life. Maybe there's decisions that you make that naturally lead you on to another decision. Maybe a memory gently surfaces, perhaps a conversation or a friendship, a challenge that quietly strengthened you. It might be an unexpected opportunity or experiences that once seemed separate, but now begin finding their relationship with one another. And you can see how, just like stars across the night sky, each moment has become part of something larger. You don't need to gather every piece of the story tonight. Simply notice if there's a pattern that wishes to reveal itself to you. The longer you allow your gaze to wander naturally across the heavens, the more and more alive the night is becoming. There are thousands of stars now filling the sky above you. Some are bright and commanding attention, but others are softer, almost hidden, waiting patiently to be discovered. You notice how every single one contributes to the beauty of the whole. Maybe you reflect on how Venus reminds us as well that relationships give meaning. And just as every star is contributing to the constellation, every person, every meeting, and every shared experience contributes something so unique to the story of our lives. Maybe bring to mind what relationships have helped you become the person you are today. Allow gratitude to arise naturally as you lower your gaze towards the valley below you and what you can see of the village. For a moment, you might want to reflect on how alike they actually seem, the stars that are above you and the lights below, the heavens reflecting the earth, and the earth reflecting the heavens. It's hard in the night sky to see exactly where the horizon lies that separates them. Your eyes travel gently between them. Above you there are ancient patterns that have been long observed stretching across the sky. And below you are the quiet rhythms of everyday life and human connection continuing in warm homes and familiar streets. Perhaps you sit for a moment with the reflection of how Aquarius invites us to stand between these two worlds, discovering our own perspective through both of them. The heavens encourage us to look beyond ourselves to a much bigger, older story, and maybe look at how we can carry that forwards into the future. While the lights below us remind us that every insight can only find its meaning when we carry it back into our relationships, our communities, and our everyday lives. As you find yourself at this threshold between the stars and the village, where are you within that greater story? You connect again with your mindful anchor and feel the coolness of the air, and you remember that you still have the question in your backpack. You are not in any hurry to reach for it as the night is still unfolding, and you allow yourself more time to simply remain beneath the stars, breathing, observing, listening, and just allowing the silence to become a part of you. There's nothing that feels hurried here. Reflect on how Saturn teaches us about the quality of time, how time can be a quiet companion that allows life to unfold season by season as we gain experience until wisdom gradually takes shape. What has time been teaching you? Perhaps you have an answer that will come easily and quickly. Or the answer may be finding its way to you. Just allow it to arrive in its own time. Maybe time is returning your attention to your backpack and your question that's been with you all evening, even if the question isn't fully formed yet. You take your time as you reach for the paper carrying your question, knowing that you don't need to solve it right now, and just allowing yourself to sit with it in curiosity. Notice how it feels now. Has anything changed about the question since you began your walk? Maybe you already see another possibility. Maybe the horizon, the potentials feel a little bit wider. Maybe one small detail has quietly found its place within a larger picture. Or perhaps your question simply feels easier to carry now. If your question hadn't formed before, maybe it's coming into shape now. Aquarius often reminds us that a wider horizon allows us to see more than ourselves. Fresh perspective is also helping us to recognize how our own story belongs within a much greater pattern, one that will continue unfolding with every experience, every relationship, and every season. As you are sitting holding your question, is there a new fresh perspective beginning to emerge? Recognize whatever has become visible for you. And when you've ready, place your question gently back into your backpack. It will continue to travel with you and keep it with you for as long as you need to. Just like the stars above, it can continue revealing itself over time. You now know it's time to prepare to return. But you take one final look, noticing how peaceful it feels from here, knowing also that you'll probably return whenever you need to. Maybe you notice how the lights below you that once seemed scattered now seem to belong to a single landscape. The stars above you that first appeared as individual points of light have become connected constellations stretching across the heavens, telling their stories across time. Perhaps you notice how relationships have quietly revealed themselves, or insights as you've reflected. Aquarius One offers us this gift of perspective, inviting us to recognize the patterns that become visible when we step back, when we widen our horizon and allow ourselves time to observe. As you take one final look across the landscape, ask yourself what you will carry home from this hillside. And allow that answer to settle gently within you as you gather your belongings. And maybe touch the stone, offering a quiet thank you for the evening and the time that you spent with it. And then begin the walk home along the path that now feels familiar, easing yourself back into that easy rhythm, noticing how the village lights grow gradually brighter as you descend, and the sounds of everyday life return, louder and more individual as you get closer. The stars still remain above you, even if the full view becomes a little obscured as you descend. You know they are still there and that their patterns continue whether you can see them or not. And perhaps perspective is something like that. It's always available to us, just waiting for those moments when we pause, look up, look around, look down, and allow ourselves to see a little further. Before you reach the village, take 3 breaths to allow this evening to settle a little more deeply with you. Breathing in, welcome a wider perspective. And breathe out, releasing any resistance to the wisdom that time reveals. Breathe in, welcoming a wider perspective. And breathe out, releasing any resistance to the wisdom that time reveals. Breathe in, welcoming a wider perspective. And breathe out, releasing any resistance to the wisdom that time reveals. Allow these words to rest quietly within you. As you find yourself approaching the edge of the village, breathing into your mindful anchor, you become aware once more of the room around you, the sounds of the room that are so familiar to you. You take a moment to appreciate the time that you've given yourself, the gift of stepping back, of looking up and returning with a broader horizon. And when you're ready, stretch out your arms and wiggle your fingers. Stretch your legs and move your toes. And in your own time, if you close your eyes, allow them to open. Welcome back. Travel well, friends.